Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a Legacy video every Friday. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the Patreon. Here you can gain access to a continuously updated sideboard guide and primer on Legacy Doomsday, as well as being able to send private messages. You can join the Patreon by clicking the link in the video description or going to patreon.com/nebuleshootmtg. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Legacy video, and this is video number 2 in the new format, and I wanted to try a really different take on Doomsday than the previous video and then what I'm usually playing. So this is like a tempo, yeah, basically a tempo Doomsday deck, right? So this, I have played a list like this, like very similar to this earlier, and basically what this does is it keeps the shell intact where we can turn one win on the same turn Doomsday, and do the same turn win with Doomsday, but it then also introduces cards like Wasteland, like Tamiyo, Inquisitive Student. We've got a creature package here. We've got a couple of Orcish Bowmasters, a couple of Barrowgoyfs, a Murktide Regent, and yeah, that's sort of the idea. I don't know, like this is like really pushing it to the extreme. I think there is a much more palatable version of this deck that doesn't play Wasteland, that perhaps plays a little bit more of a regular Doomsday plan, like with more petals. I've kept one petal here. First of all, because it means that it increases the same turn win, capabilities, because if you don't have the floating blue mana, but you have a Cycler and a Brainstorm in hand, then and you've made your land drop, then the petal is nice. I also happen to think that with Tamiyo going ultimate, if you want to win on that turn, which this deck wants to probably some amount of the time anyways, then having extra, like having at least one petal is needed or is desirable. Yeah, so I was a little bit unsure about the creature suite here. I like the Barrowgoyfs because they synergize with Dark Ritual. Oops, hang on. I just noticed I am at 61 cards. That was not the intention. Yeah, okay. So basically, I cut an Orcish Bowmasters, and that was what I was about to talk about. It's like the creature suite here. I am unsure about exactly what's set up here. I have 8 creatures that are not normally in Doomsday, which is currently 4 Tamiyo, 2 Barrowgoyf, a Bowmasters, and a Murktide. And I think Bowmasters is probably the weakest of those creatures. I have an extra one on the sideboard. It is like in the matchups where it's good, it's pretty damn good. But there are just a lot of matchups where it's a little bit anemic, I think. Like any Ancient Tomb deck, it's probably not very good. Like, yeah, if they play the One Ring, then like on paper it has like relevancy versus the One Ring, but in practice, like the One Ring decks, I feel can usually maneuver around it and just kill it with a Kozilek's command or whatever. Um, so I'm not too hopeful that, like, if they have or if they have the One Ring and you have Bowmasters, I'm not too hopeful that I'm gonna pull out ahead there. So yeah, I got some more creatures in the sideboard for the matchups where I want that, and some anti uh, Mystic Forge, the One Ring cards here. Uh, got some removal spells to sort of heighten the chances in the fair matchups. I think, like, I expect there to be a lot of blue-red tempo floating around, and I think this deck has a pretty nice setup there, while also being able to probably put up a better fight versus Dimir tempo than like the normal Turbo Doomsday, where I don't expect this to maybe shine that much is versus like mm, the Forge decks, like the Karn Forge decks, and the I guess, Savannah decks. If there are going to be a lot of Savannah decks, I don't know, like the Elvish Reclaimer decks. Like there are just those types of matchups where I don't really enjoy being a Tamiyo gamer as much. But yeah, let's try this out. Alrighty, we're on the draw for round number one with a pretty nice turn one win here if we want to. Let's see what we're up against. The opponent mulligans to 6. And they found 6 they like. Let's hope we don't get Thoughtseized here. Uh-oh. Spoke it into existence, huh? Yeah. Alright, well, they will, I think, have to take Doomsday. And then I guess we will turn one Tamiyo. Unless we just magically top deck another Doomsday here. Okay, we didn't. Okay, so Vault of Whispers. This probably means Storm combo of some kind, like Saga Storm. They have 4 cards and 1 mana in play. So there is a more, I suppose, responsible world where we go ahead and cast Ponder here instead of Tamiyo and look for a Force of Will. But I think I want to just like take the chance here and get Tamiyo going. And this might be an Echo of Eon's deck, so I think I'm going to play out my LED here. I'll pass. Yeah, that was too bad. That would have been a same turn win. A turn one, same turn win there. Wishclaw Talisman, okay. Let's draw. I would be happy with land here, or a force, or just Doomsday to win the game. Sweet. Let's attack with Tamiyo, just to be prudent here. And then we go for the win. Alright, so Ponder is going to draw us a Consider. And we'll have 3 blue mana floating from the LED. Alright, so we cast Ponder, we draw Consider, 3 blue floating, cast Consider, put Cavern of Souls in the graveyard, and then cycle Thassa. Yep, that seems good. Tamiyo will be flipping along the way, but I mean, that doesn't matter. Yeah, sorry, I don't know if you picked that up. My doorbell rang, so I had to just go and check someone was at the door. Not sure the microphone picked it up. Okay, here we go. Cast Ponder and sack LED. And we put Edge and then Cavern on top, and then the Consider. Cast Consider. Put away the Cavern, draw the Edge. Tamiyo flips. No need to plus the Tamiyo. Cycle Edge. Cycle Street Wraith. And there is Thassa. Sweet. Alright, so we're up against the non-blue combo deck here. I feel like we have to be a strong favorite taking game 1 here. So let's see here. We have the Consign of Memories, the Force of Negations that come in. Is this an Echo of Eon's deck? Do we care about the graveyard? It's probably a Beseech the Mirror deck. So, I mean, it's possible that we want like one of these. I think we want the Bowmasters. So they are an Ursa Saga deck, as we just saw, and there is like, I think our deck is better set up to fight the spell-based combo part of their deck. And if they just go like Saga, like if they have an opening hand with 2 Urza Sagas and like an artifact or 2, then it can get a bit tricky, I think. I think I'm okay going down like 1 Barrowgoyf and maybe going down 1 Brazen Borrower. And then it's the question, how much of the combo package do we want to leave in? I think we can skimp on the Cavern of Souls. Not sure how good Tamiyo is here, to be honest. Like, what they're doing is either going to be like winning really fast, in which case Tamiyo is kind of not that great. Yeah, I'm actually gonna cut a couple of Tamiyos here. I do want to remain capable of winning with LED. I think I'm not going to bring in the Spell Bomb, and then I will swap 2 Tamiyos, Cavern, Brazen Borrow, Barrowgoyf for the 4 blue counter spells and the second Bowmasters. I'm also actually not even sure how good Bowmasters is. It's more like if they are a Bowmasters deck, It's nice to have your own to to cancel them out. It's nice if they're like gonna put Echo of Eons on the stack, I guess. But other than that, maybe like I don't even maybe that's like a punt. I'm not sure. I think I keep this, though it is a little bit awkward with just this like one land here and it being a tap land. But force plus days and relevant cards for the rest of it is going to have to carry me through here. Oh yeah, here we go. The Saga Gamer, Lava Spur Boots. I don't think that's where I point my Force of Negation, though. I could be made through that decision. LED. Okay. Are we Echo Gaming? Nope. All right. Kind of would be really, really pleased with a Wasteland here, but no such luck. Consign to Memory. I think I'm actually going to put that in the graveyard. We're kind of flush with counterspells here. I know that that's a specific counterspell that could be very relevant, but they've already, like if I was a turn ahead of this, I could very conceivably consign this trigger right here so that they can't make friends. Chrome Mox. So what happens if I daze this Chrome Mox? I think I actually like that. Because if I don't, and then they just make a land drop, then they have constructs enabled. It does really hurt to put away this Undercity Sewers, like put that back in my hand. If I don't draw an untapped land next turn, it's a potential problem. But oh, look at this. No land drop. I would be pretty shocked if they sack their hand to make a construct here. Force of Will. I guess I'll keep that now that we can deduce that there aren't like big constructs in our immediate future. So we have a daze and a Force of Negation to like carry us through here. I'm surprised they didn't have a land drop last turn. They get another LED. Story checks out. There's a Chrome Mox. Okay. Maybe letting that resolve is a problem because they might like the black mana might be their bottleneck here. But if they imprint a black spell, I think it pretty much has to be Dark Ritual. I don't know, if they have Thoughtseize Echo of Eons as like the last two cards in their hand once they imprint something here, then they do get to do the thing. Oh, okay, never mind. They just concede the match. Sweet. On to round number 2. All right, on the draw for round number 2 with a pretty, non-Doomsday kind of hand here. I think I'm going to keep these lands are kind of awkward, but I don't think this is a hand I mulligan. We have Force of Will, we have Daze, we have lands, we have threats. They're just sort of a little bit awkwardly put together, but still. Okay, no turn 1 Tamiyo here. That's actually a pretty big relief. Try another Wasteland. Okay, well, we'll see if Wasteland turns out being good here. I think I'm gonna throw away this polluted delta. If I get wastelanded, then maybe I would have been happy seeing the delta in my hand next turn, but yeah. Meticulous Archive. Okay. And they throw away a mountain. What deck is this? Like Jeskai Control? Looks like it, right? Jeskai Control usually big on, or Basic Mountain indicates that this deck might be big on basics, so having something we can actually, two things we can wasteland here it's not bad. Okay, I am gonna wasteland this Meticulous Archive. They float a white mana. That sort of indicates plow, but I am gonna play Tamiyo here because we have the daze and Force of Will to protect it if we should feel so like. But if they plow this, I will daze, and if they then force, then I have a real decision to make. Okay, Tamiyo's in. Yeah, here's the plow. You know what's coming, bud. Let's hope they don't also have a daze. Okay, they did not. This does concern me. And they just have another plow. I think I'll force this. See how deep we want to go here. If they have Spell Pierce, then that's brutal. I also just realized I have non-matching Undercity Sewers. Is that really a thing? No, they are the same, right? They look differently. here in my MTGO hand. That's weird. Okay, they let the force happen, and I get to untap with Tamiyo. And now the question is, how do I develop this mana? I think I Wasteland. They are showing us a little bit of weakness here with all their non-basics in the basic mountain deck. And my hand lined up with Wasteland, so okay, they kept the lands coming. That's fair. And now I have to probably play Undercity Sewers here. Bowmasters. Bowmasters seems like a like good card. And this is funny. This is like we're not seeing any Doomsday cards here at all. And versus Control, I think the Doomsday package is like probably the strongest part of our deck. Another Meticulous Archive. Okay. I'm just getting more and more weirded out by this basic mountain here. If it like typically Jeskai Control is all about fetching basics. They put a card on top of their deck, by the way, with that Surveil. Maybe that was the Ponder, and they don't shuffle. Did they find a third plow? A Brainstorm, okay. Getting in underneath my Tamiyo or my Bowmasters here. Okay, so next turn Teferi is on, but Bowmasters lines up pretty well versus Teferi. Let's get another clue here. And we pass. Alright, here come the basics. I think I will just draw with a clue. They have just brainstormed. So I am okay not holding up Bowmasters like that religiously. And another Tamiyo. I think I'll just drop my Undercity Sewers here. I don't think we want another Ponder. Let's attack and pass. Okay. Excuse me. We have a 5-mana play? This is Lauren Revealed. Oh, it's Big Daddy Teferi. Draw a card at the beginning of the next end step. Untap up to 2 lands. Put target non-land permanent into its owner's library, third from the top. Okay. So, I'm not going to try and spin the wheel for a force here. They want to plus. I'm going to Bowmasters. See if they have Force of Will. This would be the time to use it. Yeah, they did. It's the ultimate on this one. Get an emblem whenever you draw a card, exile a permanent. Okay. So now they draw a card and then they untap up to 2. Alrighty. I think this might be the time we try and flip Tamiyo. Let's get an attack in. I'm going to start off with a Ponder here. Daze, Ponder. I don't think we want dazes, and so I'm going to shuffle. So I could Brainstorm here, and then I could Brazen Borrower Teferi. That sort of isn't ideal, but it's also kind of okay. But then, like, if I bounce Teferi, they go play him again, and then exile, or put my flip Tamiyo third from the top. That would kind of suck. I think I will Brainstorm here. See, like if I find Force of Will, then I really like that play. Okay, but I didn't. But I might still. So let's put away second Tamiyo and Thassa. Then Tamiyo flips, and then I think I will Ponder looking for Force of Will. Or actually, does that even matter now? Now they just get to do the Tamiyo thing, like exile Tamiyo, or not exile. I keep saying that. You know what I mean? Okay, there is Force of Will and there is a Doomsday. I think I like these cards. Let's plus the Tamiyo. They are pretty incentivized to not draw extra cards here, but rather like get rid of Tamiyo. I think. No, okay, they are just going for it. Well, in that case, it's Council's Judgment. Okay, I think I let that happen here. So they vote for Tamiyo. So I will also vote for Tamiyo. Alright, so I draw Doomsday. And I'm going to play Cavern of Souls and name Wizard. And then I am going to put Doomsday on the stack here. I have force, but I have force. Maybe I'm supposed to... No, I don't think so. Alright, so we want Thassa. We want Edge. We want Street Wraith. And I guess like a couple of Force of Wills. Maybe not. Maybe only one Force of Will and then another actual usable blue card. Like consider. Yeah, because so what I want to do here is I have 2 mana open now. I can draw off of 1 clue. I'll draw the Force. Then I'll untap, draw the Consider, and then I have 5 mana. I can spend 2 to draw another clue. That's the Cycler into Thassa. I don't know if they like. I guess if they have back to basics here, then it's a really big problem. But let's just hope they don't, huh? And is there a world where we're supposed to put Thassa closer to the top? I don't think so. Like if they go back to basics, then I basically have to pass for 5 consecutive turns, and then there's no way they're not finding like something that kills us here. This says target permanent as well, so like they'll just exile my land. So yeah, nah. Okay, and we'll pass. If they have like Wrath of the Sky, so they can sweep up my clue tokens, then I also lose. In which case, I was probably supposed to. No, I don't lose necessarily. Then I have to resolve, consider. That's because I still get to draw one of the 2 cards. Okay, I bet that was a surprise that suddenly there was a Doomsday. They maybe have like could have cobbled it together when they saw the cavern. All right, they have 2 cards. They can draw a 3rd, which they do. So please no back to base. Oh no, 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 no. Oh. Whew. I clicked yield until end of turn, but I managed to unclick it here. That was close. Okay, I think I will just draw right now with their untap ability. Doesn't matter. Okay, we draw the Force. And so let's see here. We have 3 Force of Wills and 1 Force of Negation accounted for. I'm just trying to think if they could have like Dress Down plus a counterspell. That would be the most likely thing that could bite us here. Okay, I'm gonna draw with my clue token. Yeah, I think they need something that like main deck Consign a Memory. That could be a thing in a deck like this with the new format, or like Nimble Obstructionist or some other thing that doesn't like put a spell in the stack. Or maybe they can make us draw a card, but like that would have to be like Archmage's Charm or whatever it's called. Yeah, okay, sweet. We got there. I really would have liked to get there without showing Doomsday, but hey. Okay, so they have to like respect our creatures here. They've seen Bowmasters plus Tamiyo. I think Shoulder's Edict is a no-brainer here. That's really good. Bowmasters, maybe Long Goodbye. I like that for like Little Teferi for Narset. Kaito seems good. Maybe we board out LED and consider here. So I need to cut 2 more things. Wasteland honestly doesn't seem that good. So maybe I'll cut a couple of Wastelands. Yeah, let's try this. I'm not boarding in more Barrowgoyfs or Murktides because I don't think they're particularly amazing versus Tundra decks, like a lot of the time. I like this. I'm going to keep they mulligan to 6. Let's see. Basic Island, sure. Not Tamiyo. Yet again, happy about that. And it's funny with Tamiyo, it's a card that really, you know, I'm not gonna say flies under the radar because it's pretty obviously on everyone's radar, but like what happened in last game, like how many clues did I crack? I think I cracked 3 total. So that's basically Ancestral Recall sort of suspended over multiple turns, and it certainly ended up like mattering. Okay, second Tamiyo. Again, back to basics is a card here. But let's see. Okay, Tamiyo's in. So if they go spend a turn plowing her, then I guess... Oh, that's not happening. Double basic island. Did they shuffle on that ponder? I didn't even pay attention. No, they didn't shuffle. Interesting. It makes me think they probably have counterspell. Okay, let's crack a clue. And then, like, if they have counterspell, then this brainstorm is a pretty easy counterspell. But then, like, that would incentivize me to wait with the brainstorm until their upkeep, but then I don't get to plus the Tamiyo if it does resolve. No, I think I just pass. Okay, they're passing. Hopefully they aren't playing like Hull Breacher. Okay, second main they decide to do something here. Is this Teferi? It's Narset. So I think I'll brainstorm in response to that. That will flip the Tamiyo. That was what we were talking about. Two answers to Narset. I think I just put back Dark Ritual and Barrowgoyf. And then I have to decide if I want to draw the Barrowgoyf. Well, we'll see what they plus here. I'm going to let this resolve. It's a card advantage for them either way, but I think I'd rather keep my Force of Will. Like, if they show me Plow, I'm not taking the Barrowgoyf. Force of Will, okay. That's good to know about. Do I want the Barrowgoyf? I think I do want Barrowgoyf more than a Surveil card here. Then I can always Surveil later. Okay, let's plus Tamiyo. Do I play second Tamiyo and then... Because I'm not going to be drawing with the clue anyways. That gives up on Murktide, but I'm kind of far away from Murktide anyways. I think I do play the second Tamiyo. Give them a chance to force this. I think they probably won't, but you never know. And let's get some basics, huh? Just in case there is a back to basics coming, because they did show us Force of Will. And then we are going to bid Narset a long goodbye. Okay, now we pass. I think, like, Prismatic Ending on Narset here, or on Tamiyo, I'm just going to have to accept that. I have a redundant friend. Okay, they plow new Tamiyo. Don't want none of that. Another 3-drop here. It is back to basics. Yeah, I think I'm going to, like, ride my Tamiyo to victory here, or try to anyways. Got my 2 basics out under me. There's a 3rd land. That could, at the cost of a land drop, that could let me play Barrowgoyf, which I think I am interested in. I am going to run out of... I'll have 2 Underground Seas here, and one of them is going to be fetched. That means I have 1 more untapped land that can enter play. So their hand is Force plus 2 unknowns, and they do force that. I think I let that happen. Like, I am 2 turns away from ultimating Tamiyo, and my Force can hopefully protect the queen. They pass. Now I have the ability to draw with a clue if I need to. Tamiyo is sitting at 8. Is there a way for you to stop this with your 2 cards? About to be 3 cards. Brainstorm. Okay. Yeah. Like I was going to say, as long as there's no like Snapcaster here, but even a Snapcaster, because of Tamiyo's plus, will attack for 1 and take her down to 7, and then I still get to ultimate. Okay. Their brainstorm is done. Is there any way... I don't think I draw here, because they could conceivably have a spell that bounces or kills Tamiyo, and then a spell pierce in their hand. So no reason to like get cute and draw 1 extra card here. Okay, draw days is not bad. Let's try and draw 21 cards. Okay, so we got to do that, and they concede. Yeah, all right, makes sense. Cool. That was nice. Let's move on to round number 3. All right, we're on the draw for round number 3 with a hand that I don't think I'm supposed to keep. So I'm going to mulligan. Oh, this is good. What do we do here? Do we bottom the Murktide? Like, if we get Thoughtseize and they take Doomsday, then I don't hate having Murktide here, but I guess I am going to bottom him. It is the least important thing. Misty Rainforest. Okay. Misty Rainforest pass. So I think I will just basic Island Ponder now that I drew the Ponder. Love to find Force of Will or something. Bowmasters. Meh. I think I'm going to shuffle these. I want interaction here. Another Ponder. Okay. Okay. This is either Dimir Tempo or the Mirror, I think. Okay. We get Thoughtseized. That's a shame. And we lose our Doomsday. Makes sense. Another Ponder. Okay, I think I'm going to brainstorm here. I think we only want one force here and a Ponder. I'm going to fetch Underground Sea and cast this Ponder. Like, if they Wasteland me, then that's like I have another land. If they Daze here, it's fine. Okay. Alright, maybe I pivot here into Murktide. Let's pass. Murktide is currently a 7/7. Okay, there's a brainstorm, sure. Second brainstorm, okay. Doesn't seem amazing. Ooh, and they missed their land drop. How about that? Hello, Wasteland. Alright, I'm gonna play the Wasteland and then play the Murktide. Because, yeah, Daze is a thing. How do you like 7/7 Murktides? The answer is you don't. Okay, Force Pitch Kaito. Force Pitch Brainstorm. If they have a second force here, then my hand is sort of nothing. They do. Wow, okay. Brazen Borrower. Okay, so Murktide is countered. I'm going to waste them because they clearly just missed on lands. And we pass. They have one card in hand, and they know what they're drawing for the next 2 turns. So hopefully it's nothing amazing. Like Tamiyo here really gets them out of it, I think. Third Brainstorm. Okay. So they're drawing 2 unknowns. They could conceivably find a land here, and they do. Okay. Well, this, I'm suddenly kind of behind here. Let's draw something good. Oh, we knew that was coming, right? Yeah. Okay. I think I will actually fetch the Surveil land right now. Like, if there's a Doomsday or a Barrowgoyf on top of my deck, I would actually be interested in cycling this Edge of Autumn. But there wasn't, so I won't. Okay. Pass. That's interesting. They didn't have another Surveil land, I guess? So they're no longer missing mana, but whatever they have isn't worth casting or possible to cast right now, I guess. Yeah, I'll have a peek here. It's probably a counterspell or a land. Oh, or Bowmasters. Damn. Is it worth cycling this edge right now? So I'll be at 14, then 13, then 11. So Doomsday takes me to 10 or to 5. I think I just let them do this, but yeah, this is not good. Yeah, this was kind of like worst case scenario. Me drawing that Thoughtseize and them having Bowmasters. Pass the turn. Take 2. I really need to draw something good right now. Oh, that qualifies. Yeah, let's pass. Like, I want to give them the chance of like drawing a cantrip here. I don't think I'm worried about another Force of Will. 2 of them are gone. Kaito is a little bit like scary. Okay, let's flash in Bowmasters. I'm gonna shoot Bowmasters here rather than the army, just because like if they have a petty theft or something, I want Bowmasters to be dead. Okay, Bowmasters is gone. I'll take 1. Force of Will. Force of Will can be pitch cast with Dark Ritual, but that will obviously play into Daze. But what are you gonna do? They pitched Kaito, by the way. Like, if they probably don't play more than 2 of that card. But if they find the second one, then it is like that's probably game. Okay, Wasteland. Wasting this. I'm gonna float blue and then cycle it. Alright, so if I find a blue card here, then suddenly I am feeling miles ahead. Because then I can resolve Barrowgoyf, like protect it here. How about a blue card? Yay! Um, let's attack first. If they have anything over there, it is better for us to, like, they might make a decision here they wouldn't make if they knew Barrowgoyf was there. Here is Dark Ritual. Barrowgoyf. Okay. They need something really good here. Bitter Triumph? I don't think so. If they find another removal spell, then they could stabilize here, but let's see. Their own Barrowgoyf, maybe? Now, I don't know what. My best draw is probably like Tamiyo or a Swamp. Guess I'll sit on that until I draw another land. Okay, they're at 4. They could very easily stabilize here, like any creature I think does it. Ooh, Ponder. Ponder is nice for us. And I think I ping them. Or do I? Let's see. They don't shuffle. Like if they found Bowmasters and I ping the army, I'm gonna be so sad, but I am gonna ping the army. I changed my mind. Army dies. Why would you not shuffle there and then that is your play? What's in your hand? Fetch land. That can get under city sewers. So what would make sense that they would have here? So if they have a Bowmasters, I'm kind of surprised they didn't use it last game or last turn in response to my army growing. I don't know. I guess not. They would have killed my Bowmasters then. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna attack with both creatures here. If they have Bowmasters, my Bowmasters is dead anyways. Okay, they fatal push my army, and now they have no cards, but they know what's coming. Okay, they're at 3. Barrowgoyf. Wow. Okay, now I need to find like I think I need to find Doomsday or Petty Theft here. What a game, huh? I guess I have another Barrowgoyf myself. Okay, several hits here. Let's hope we get one. Force of Will is not it. Alright, come on. Big draw step. Damn. Yeah, I think I probably lose now, but I am going to block with my Bowmasters to not give them the extra draw here. It's a 4/5. This means I can't Doomsday next turn if I top deck Doomsday. But yeah, I don't know. So maybe that was a mistake. Tamiyo is pretty nice for them. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna concede. Damn. All right. So I don't think we board completely out of Doomsday because that is sort of a way we have to trump them. But I do think we board in all the removal that we can and creatures. And then let's get rid of LED, I think, and consider. And I think possibly we get rid of Force of Will. Alright, so we need to cut 3 more things. I think like Wasteland is probably not gonna shine here. Oh gosh, I don't know. Yeah, I think I board out the 2 Wastelands. The 3 Wastelands. Yeah, let's try this. I would love like a Dark Ritual Doomsday Days package here or a turn 1 Tamiyo. Those are the things I would like. We get Tamiyo. I am not gonna put her out through the cavern here because we have the days. So let's just go ahead and Tamiyo here. She's in, okay. Black mana, so Fatal Push. I think I'll daze that. See if they also have a daze here. They did not, okay. I'll float the fetch land here. I was just wondering if Delta was better. But Delta would give me the chance to fetch Basic Island. But I do expect to be casting or fetching a survey land. So, okay. Now Tamiyo will at least leave a clue behind her if she gets killed. Okay, Thoughtseize. This probably takes Murktide. I would assume this Dark Ritual seems pretty meek here. No, they do take the Dark Ritual. Interesting. Food for the Murktide. Well, I guess that means they have Murktide covered, but yeah, interesting. Let's get under City Sewers. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of Basic Island. It does concern me a little bit that I won't be able to like draw Basic Island for the rest of the game, basically. I'm not floating second fetch here because I'm gonna be cracking my clue. I think I will just crack it now, like to not have them be able to just keep open Bowmaster's mana. Okay. Doomsday. You don't say. Fatal push my Tamiyo. Okay. Thoughtseize before you fatal push. That's interesting. Guess my Doomsday's gone, huh? Thoughtseize of my own would be kind of nice here. Hey! We asked for the thing and we got the thing. Like, if your hand is answer to Murktide, Force of Will blue card, I think you have to Force of Will this. You know there's a Cavern of Souls in my hand. Okay. Brainstorm it is. Brainstorm Sewers. Okay. I think I will name Dragon here. Oh, actually, no. What am I even doing? Well, I guess this means they can't find, like, a daze. Yeah, but I don't know. I immediately feel disappointed in myself for spewing my cavern like that. Alright, let's make this Murktide a big O. I guess I'll get rid of Tamiyo. Not that I expect them to have like reanimate, but you never know. Okay, here comes Brainstorm. So they need to find an untapped land and a 3-mana solution, or any 1 or 2 mana solutions here. It's Bitter Triumph. Oh, Petty Theft, okay, yeah. Okay, these cards are kind of good. Let's draw Tamiyo, and let's play Tamiyo. And we'll pass. So next turn we can make a 4/4 Murktide, which is not amazing, but Ponder. No shuffle on the Ponder. Let's attack with Tamiyo. I guess they could flash in the Brazen Bee to block. Then I can flip Tamiyo if I want to, but then I'm tapped out. Okay, but they choose not to do that. I think I just pass here. Is this Bowmasters? Okay, it is the Brazen Bee. Okay, I think I'm actually going to fetch Undercity Sewers and then crack a clue. I feel kind of bad about not having Force of Will. Like, I almost never board out Force of Will. I hear people do it a lot versus Tempo, but like, I don't know. I feel like what I want most in life right now is to draw Force of Will. Okay. Let's draw with the clue. We draw Doomsday. Okay, sweet. You have Brazen Borrower. Here come the attacks. Oh, is this Kaito? That makes sense. Then they surveil and draw a card. So we could bounce Kaito. A lot of options here. Let's attack. And they have Petty Theft open now. So like playing my own Murktide is not that interesting. Let's play a land. How much? This is a 3/4, right? And they can make it a 4/5 with the emblem. I would be at 6 if I cast Doomsday and resolve it. Alright, I think I'm going to fetch first here because Doomsday math kind of works that way. I do lose kind of immediately if they Thoughtseize this Thassa. No Force of Will to get here, which sucks. We could Thoughtseize, but then Thoughtseizing puts us to 4 life, which is, you know, dead if they attack. But that means I'm kind of just never beating a Consign to Memory, which it would make sense that they might have in their hand. So maybe I have to assume that they aren't going to connect for 4 Let's get Thoughtseize. Let's get Edge of Autumn. Maybe a Long Goodbye here. Something I'd be interested in. Maybe a Bowmasters. Or maybe it's like Barrowgoyf and then another copy of Doomsday to loop. So what? I draw Thoughtseize, I draw Edge of Autumn, and then like basically we win if they don't have certain things. Right. How does this work? He has hexproof on their turn, is that right? During your turn, yeah. So I have to bounce now. Let's put Doomsday on the bottom, Barrowgoyf, and then these things. I guess I'll draw the edge first. Alright, show me this damn daze you've probably been sitting on since like turn 2. Okay, they didn't daze. Happy about that. Here comes Ponder. Counterbalance, okay. And push my Tamiyo, okay. So I could just actually, I could cast Murktide as a 5/5, but then they can petty theft it. Actually, let's draw with a clue here. And then let's cast Thoughtseize. Counterbalance is an interesting one. They fetch, okay. And they reveal Barrowgoyf. Okay, so we know if they don't have a counterspell here or a Brainstorm. They have Stifle. Yeah, okay. They lose the game. Get rid of Stifle. Cycle the Cavern of Souls. And we play Thassa with 2 cards left in the deck. Wow, crazy game. Now I have to beat this monster of a deck on the draw here, and I'm down 5 minutes on the clock. So does anything change here? Like I said, like the Force of Wills. Ugh. Am I supposed to like board in? I'm gonna board in 2 Force of Wills, and I'll cut like 2 dazes. Maybe even the third daze can go, and then because I'm on the draw here, they'll be playing around it to some extent, maybe. Yeah, watch me die with Force of Will in my hand, and you can tell me I told you so. Um, but this is what I'm doing. I hope I don't lose the clock here. I can feel my computer is really laboring with Magic Online for some reason. I'm gonna keep. All right, this is not a bad hand, but is like also not an amazing hand. They can do a lot of stuff here, namely turn 1 Thoughtseize or have like days. They kept 7. I think my best draw here is Lotus Petal. Okay, turn 1 Ponder. If not Lotus Petal, then like I guess a Tamiyo. They don't shuffle. Do I send it here, guys? Is my question. Do I send it here? I think I do. Okay, no days. That was good. Force pitch, Brazen Borrower, I think. Second force. Get out of here. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. What do I want most in life here? I guess I'll take Undercity Sewers. And, oh, I want Tamiyo. I also want 5 cards in my graveyard, but I think I want Tamiyo more. I'm worried about Bowmasters right now, like very worried. They pitched Counterbalance and a Ponder to the 2 forces. They surveil and like what they see. Scary. Barrowgoyf, okay. Yep, that's not good. I think it is so much so not good that I am going to try and cast Doomsday right now. Hope their last card in hand isn't suddenly a daze. I will just get some Cyclers and Thassa, I think. Or will I? Like, it would make sense that their last card in hand was a removal spell. Just with the way things have gone here. Let's see, they will have a 3/4 Goyf. So, and I'll be at 9, so I'll go to 6. And then what? The next turn I can, like, so Thassa or Tamiyo cares about when the 3rd card is drawn. So if I go, like, cycle, consider away land, draw Thassa. So cycle, consider, or I boarded out consider, damn. I could also do something completely different here. I could get a long goodbye, and kill the Brazen Borrower, or the Barrowgoyf, I mean, and then postpone things for a turn. So that way I would go like Tamiyo, long goodbye. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Like if they have consign to memory, god damn it, then they get to win. But I think it has to be consign, which would also be a card they could conceivably be sitting on there. Uh, Thassa is going to be on the bottom here. I'll draw the long goodbye next turn. All right, let's hope they don't like go too crazy here with the Barrowgoyf. Miss, 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 miss. No, they hit the goddamn worst thing they could have hit. Goddamn Bowmasters. Okay, yeah, flash it in on your end step, why don't you? Okay, I mean this is still winnable, but things just got more difficult. I still think I have to long goodbye this Barrowgoyf. Um, yeah, let's pass. This basically means that my Thoughtseize. Okay, kill your Barrowgoyf. It basically means my Street Wraith is just off here. Okay, I take 4, or I go to 4. So how would this work? If I go to 3 next turn, and then, or I go to 2 and get a clue. They have 1 card. Yeah, I have to pass right now, I think. The next turn I can attack with Tamiyo, crack a clue, draw with edge. That would deal me 2 damage. I would then be at 1. And then I would be able to put Thassa through the cavern. But then their last card can't be Consign to Memory or second Orcish Bowmasters. So the Street Wraith is a blank. Alright, here we go. I'm making my move. You'd think they would have flashed into Bowmasters like last turn if just to push the damage on the Orc army. I guess Stifle, yeah, we saw Stifle last game. Stifle will be a card they would be sitting on here, but I mean, I don't have a choice. My pile is not set up to beat Stifle. Okay, let's start with cracking the clue. And I take 1 damage, yes. And let's cycle this Edge of Autumn. I mean, no matter how this pans out, this was a crazy and super cool game. Now Tamiyo flips. A lot of triggers here. I'm at 1. Yeah, let's see it. Do you have the Stifle or the Consign? Oh, wow, we got there. That was so sick. 1 life. Game 3. Yeah, oh man. This has been a fun league so far. It's obviously always more fun when you're winning and stuff, but yeah, super stoked. All right, on to round number 4. All right, on the play for round number 4. Oh, no lander. A lander. Okay, I will keep this and probably bottom one of the lands. Yeah, I'll bottom the Underground Sea. And I guess I'll float the Scalding Tarn here and pass. Blue Mirror, huh? Okay, I'll get a Surveil land here. Hope I don't get stifled. So what do we want here? Wasteland? I guess I'll keep a Wasteland. Not sure if it'll come in handy. I think actually I will Brainstorm here. Like a Thoughtseize, a Ponder, a Tamiyo are good hits here. Thoughtseize. Gosh, I want all these cards. Let's put back Wasteland and no, Polluted Delta and Wasteland, I guess. And I'll pass, and I just probably will redraw here. Redraw the Wasteland. There's a Brainstorm. I'll not give in to the temptation of dazing that. And you Thoughtseize me. I guess I will daze that. Kind of sucks. It throws off my entire curve here. How likely is it that I am going to get paid off by this Wasteland? Probably not that likely, but I'm like a moth to a flame there. I don't know. It's hard to resist. Another Thoughtseize. Okay. No Doomsday giveaways here so far. They take my Thoughtseize. Alright. I guess I will draw and surveil. I don't think we want yet another land. Alright, pass. I wonder if my opponent is Doomsday, because why do you take the Thoughtseize there? Alright, I will fetch and surveil again. And they did miss their land drop there. Lotus Petal. You know what? I will take a Lotus Petal because it lets me resolve Barrowgoyf around a daze. And it also is eventually an artifact for Barrowgoyf to care about. But they have 6 cards in hand, so they could just be sitting on like Fatal Push here. That would be a reason to take Thoughtseize, I guess, over Force or whatever, or over the Barrowgoyf. Goyf is in. They fetch immediately, cannot wait. I guess that means they probably have Fatal Push. Do I force this push? I think I do. I am sort of completely out of gas now. Okay, force resolved. I have concerns, but I have a Barrowgoyf, 2 mana, and Barrowgoyf is no more. So I'm up against Dimir tempo for the second round in a row. Doomsday? No. Okay, I am completely treading water here, and yeah, there is an old saying in Magic, which is that screw beats flood, which is mana screw, which is what my opponent is facing, beats mana flood, which is what I'm facing. That's not bad though. Is there a... Here's one of those things, right? Some people like to wasteland in the opponent's upkeep, and sometimes there are reasons to do that. If you expect them to, like, want to resolve a spell. I don't know, like, let's say they somehow, like, what could happen here? I wasteland them, then they brainstorm, and then daze their own brainstorm to save the land. Do I then care if it's in their upkeep? Guess not. I will pass and get them in the upkeep. They have a Bowmasters. Okay. I mean, I'll wasteland now. I suppose they can daze their own Bowmasters if they want to, but I'm guessing they won't want to do that. Oh, really? They do. But they can't pay for it. Okay, so they valued the tap land over the Bowmasters. I'm actually kind of stoked about that. My Wasteland countered their Bowmasters and got a card out of their hand. That probably means, yeah, that they have more threats and also they probably have more counterspells. I'm still, like, I would be pretty stoked with a Doomsday right now. And now my cantrips are free as well. Oh, come on, Dak. Alright. Well, now I can daze picking up a sewers here. Now they have a third land. It's gross. If they have, like, a Kaito here, that's also, like, really gross. But looks like they don't. Consider. Okay, this will be the first little inkling we're giving them that we're not a normal Dimir deck. They have a Bowmasters. Yep. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm about to take 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to 4. I don't think there's a way I live and beat a Doom, like, win with Doomsday here, but I don't want them to know there's a Doomsday in my deck. Who knows? Maybe I am, maybe something will happen here. 7 damage, go to 3. Because I lost track of a point of damage there in my little math hit piece. Barrowgoyf here would be a live draw. Another Wasteland. Okay, GG's. So I would love to just, like, have a turn 1 Doomsday in the next game. So I don't think I'm going to be doing the whole pivot thing. I guess pivot is a loosely used term here because we are already pivoted to an extent. But I don't want to go full ham and really shut down the combo elements here. I think my best route to win this match is to win with Doomsday early in game 2 and then grind a win out of game 3. Is there anything I would be interested in cutting here then? Probably not. I'm just gonna go say main deck, and then I'll like sideboard heavily for the if there is a last game. Yeah. Wow. Ask and you shall receive. Okay. Let's hope they don't have double force, and that they aren't like loaded up on consigned to memory. There's Doomsday. You have a force of will, pitching ponder. I have a force of will, or rather, I have a daze. Oh, sweet. I thought they were gonna counter it. There was a long pause. All right. Well, what do we want to do here? Like, I think basically it we're gonna beat any scenario that doesn't involve consigned to memory, and it was really only the consider last game that would lead me to think they could even consider bringing in consigned to memory. That and then like if they were looking up my history on MTGO and see that I play a lot of Doomsday, I guess. But so the question is, do we want to try and be able to beat that, or what? Uh, the only other way I think they beat us here is if they somehow are able to Thoughtseize Thassa from our hand. So let's not give them that choice. Ooh, and I clicked on Undercity Sewers. That was a mistake. What would a pile like this look like? So because with the fetch land into basic island, we don't lose to them having two wastelands here. So I kind of like that. Then it's a question of how, yeah, do we want to play sewers next turn or do we want to play Tamiyo? And like a way that they could end up Thoughtseizing Thassa from us is if like they wasteland this flooded strand, and then I have to fetch because I put island underneath Thassa anyways, so I have to fetch. I probably would do that anyways, and then the deck is shuffled. We might end up with Thassa before Cavern. Okay, opponent finally finished looking through my exile zone, and here we go. Is this, yeah, Thoughtseize. Okay, so Thoughtseize is going to take Tamiyo here, and I guess I will draw my flooded strand, and I'll play Undercity Sewers here, and I think I'll mill over this Edge of Autumn. I don't envision that mattering. And it sort of comes to the same. We just don't have to sack a land to get one card deeper in the pile. Yay. All your Thoughtseizes are kind of not doing anything here. So now we draw Cavern of Souls. And it's basically, do you have like Stifle or Consigned Memory? Like, this is the new format. Like, I'm recording this on the Wednesday of where the ban announcement was on Monday. So Stifle, as it, like, you know, a couple of things are certain in life. One is that you know, death and taxes, and that people like to play Stifle in new formats of Legacy. So could be that we're gonna get God here, but I hope not. All right, sweet. They didn't have Consign or Stifle, so we go to game number 3. All right, so now I think I want to go like full mid-range here as much as I can. And I think like this is also just a note for what I was talking about earlier. We saw the opponent here keep in at least one force of will, right? Even though for all they knew it was a Dimir tempo mirror, so at least this opponent feels like forces are good here. I don't expect to need to win or even want to with Lines of Diamond. Consider. I think I'll get rid of Street Wraith and keep the Edge of Autumn. This is like making the Doomsday package like pretty anemic here. I'll get rid of the Lotus Petal maybe, although I don't know. Mana versus this type of deck is also good. I do kind of feel like cutting a couple of Doomsdays, to be honest. I'll try. I don't want that card early on, so I guess I'll get rid of the Petal as well. And we're on the draw here, so I'll cut like a couple of dazes. I don't know. Yeah, maybe all 3 dazes, to be honest. That leaves me with 20 blue cards. No, 21. 22. Yeah, alright. I'm not really happy about boarding out that Lotus Petal, if I'm being honest. Seriously, do I just completely board out of Doomsday? Maybe I do. So that means leaving out Thassa as well, but then I can bring back um, like Lotus Petal, because I do think like that helps us beat their dazes and stuff, and maybe like 2 dazes, maybe all 3 dazes, because I need to cut the Edge of Autumn as well. My computer completely was unable to handle this for some reason, and the timer went out, so maybe I just ended up resubmitting. I don't know. Oh no, good. So my sideboard plan was allowed to work, even though the timer's at 0. Okay, I'll keep this hand. This lets us fetch basics. Yeah, we are like very like what's the word? Like pensive right here. Like just 3 cantrips and mana. No disruption, no removal, no creatures. Turn 1 fetch from the opponent. I think I will fetch basic island here and cast a ponder if I'm allowed to. I am like if they have bowmasters, then this kind of sucks. Okay, that's good. I want all these. Daze lets me daze bowmasters. But yeah, I was gonna say like being stuck with 2 brainstorms in hand is kind of bad if they are showing bowmasters, but we can find removal. We have a removal spell here, but that's gonna be quite painful. So we're drawing Tamiyo, and then Kaito. Not sure we're ready for Kaito yet, but oh shoot, they just passed. Right. Oh, I thought I clicked through for some reason. All right, so I'm gonna play Tamiyo here. I have both the Daze and Brainstorms to like protect her from removal. Okay, Tamiyo's in, and we pass. I would really like to draw that Kaito. They have a Tamiyo. Okay, and they have a Brainstorm. Maybe I give up on the Kaito. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm gonna dismember Tamiyo, I think. I hurt quite a lot though. And then I guess if they daze this or force it, I'll daze the daze. Yeah, I feel like this is not going the way I want it to go. Okay, they have force. So at least that cost them a card. Okay, so they get to brainstorm. Their Tamiyo gets to flip. Mine gets to flip next turn though, and then I also get a clue. So they're ahead in the Tamiyo race, so to speak, in terms of getting to ultimate. But I am not completely out of it. This is Thoughtseize? Yeah, go ahead. Probably take my Dark Ritual here, depending on what's in their hand, of course. If they have another force, they can take a Brainstorm here and then like really go for it in terms of forcing. I would also like, yeah, okay. I wouldn't mind at all drawing like Long Goodbye here or something. Guess I'll start with Thoughtseize. Barrowgoyf and Brazen Bee. No 3rd land though. We don't know if they hit that. I think I'm gonna... Oh, this is tough, because like Brazen Borrower is a lot worse as a creature, but they can't cast Barrowgoyf right now. So if they resolve Barrowgoyf, I think I'm screwed. I think I'm gonna take the Barrowgoyf though. Then like if they want to bounce my my Tamiyo, okay, let's cast Brainstorm here. That was not so good. Okay, I'll get rid of Dark Ritual and Thoughtseize. And then I'll plus the Tamiyo. Yeah, then like Undercity Sewers can buy or can like mill over the Can mill over the thing. Interesting that they let me keep my Tamiyo. I'm gonna mine this and grab Ponder. I do have like a couple of answers to their Tamiyo. Like right now there is a dark ritual that I don't want, but I also my answers are 2 mana answers. Screw it. Let's mill over this. They have to like plus her next turn as well. So okay, I think I have to shuffle these, and I don't know. Like there is a world where I cycle this dark ritual with the clue. I guess I'll wait with that. It can't always be done at instant speed. Okay, they didn't flash in the borrower. I don't know if they're like hoping to find a a force of will here. Okay, they kept the card on top, but they choose to plus her anyways. Yeah, I guess I would too. Okay, it's now or never. That was not it. Let's cast a dark ritual, and let's I guess fetch here for Undercity Sewers to get like a second chance at Surveil. Wasteland's not it. Orcish Bowmasters would also be an interesting draw here. But we lose. Alright, GG's opponent. Yeah, they were ahead with the Tamiyo, and my deck just delivered whiff here. Yeah, having drawn like 3 of my 4 Dark Rituals, not ideal, but that is sort of the price of putting Dark Ritual in your deck. Alright, off to the final round. Alright, on the play for the final round. Yeah, let's try this out. Yeah, Undercity Sewer is kind of biting me here, but that's okay, I guess. Ooh, opponent going to 5. Let's surveil. Another land. Do I want? I think I do want another land, like in case I get wastelanded here. And I am going to play the Lotus Petal and just pass. If I have to force of will something here, I could consider away the thing, and then yeah. Okay, but they are Patchwork Automaton gaming here. Okay, yeah, I think they're trying to cast Emery. Alright, do we believe the last 2 cards in their hand is Force of Will blue card? I don't think I believe that. I'll be at 10. They can't, I don't believe, deal me anywhere near that next turn. But then what's the plan? Yeah, no, I do go for the Doomsday here. Okay, and that just resolved. Do we want Cavern of Souls? They didn't have Force just now. Doesn't mean they can't draw one. Cavern means I'm not winning next turn. I could also try and make one of the standard piles here, but then because I have Consider, I get a free slot, and I could make that a Thoughtseize. But that takes me to 8 guaranteed, and then do I need to cycle Street Wraith then? Or don't I? Let's see here. Okay, so I would draw Brainstorm, casted, draw Cycler, Thoughtseize LED, put back a blank from my hand, and the Consider from my hand, and then I would have Swamp to Thoughtseize them, and then that costs me 2 life. That loses to Chalice for 1, loses to a Chalice for 0, that loses to a Force of Will on the Brainstorm, but Force of Will is going to get me unless I pass twice. I think I'm going to go with this. And I can play out my land next turn, and that should, like, hopefully, if they have Force, they won't force Brainstorm because they'll see, oh, he made his land drop, so no Cavern of Souls. But and yeah, of course, we lose if they randomly have something like a Wasteland, but I'm not expecting that out of, like, most Ancient Tomb decks don't play that. Okay, they have the Saga. That's not a Wasteland, at least. They bobble us. That makes the friend a 3/3. And they get a redraw here. And they see us, they see the Consider. Alright, let's see if they drew a Force, and if they did, if they want to use it on this Brainstorm. Play the land, like I said. Okay, so that didn't happen. Let's put back Murktide Regent as the blank, and then Consider on top. And let's Thoughtseize here. Sink into stupor. I forget what this one does. It's the warp thing, right? Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's take the sink. Not that they can cast it. Alright, cool. We sack the polluted delta and then sack LED. Cast the consider. Mill over Merc Tidio. I do wonder if I'm supposed to board out of Doomsday here. We don't really have good stuff versus Chalice, like I guess Consign to Memory. I think I will board out of Doomsday for game 2, and then we'll see if there is a game 3 if we want to do something. Yeah, not sure about all this. Like Kaito, like if they just gum up the ground with blockers, then Kaito is not the most exciting thing. I think like Dark Ritual, even though it is good with the Barrowgoyfs, it does lose some of its luster. I'll board out 2 copies of Dark Ritual, and then maybe the Consider is the next sort of not very good card. And I don't think I'll board in the Hellspell Bomb. Opponent mulliganing to 6. I will keep this. Kind of missing a blue card. No, actually, no, never mind. I have 2 Tamiyos. Yeah, so I can go Tamiyo through the cavern, which is somewhat exciting. Meanwhile, opponent going down to 5. Yeah, so heavy on the mulligans there from the opponent. There's the Lotus Petal. Pinnacle Emissary. Whenever you cast an artifact. I mean, this is somewhat annoying. So they probably have like a couple of baubles, at least. But I guess it's fine. I don't think it's worth 2 cards for me. Okay, Saga. There's a bauble, or a Mox Opal rather. And a bauble. Okay, so they get 2. That's fine. And they see a Tamiyo. I think I won't put Cavern in because they have nothing to counter with. So I'll just play her. And then, you know, this Cavern of Souls can maybe at some point be used to name Barrowgoyf or even like Regent like Dragon here. So, will they find another land here or mana source to get their saga going? That would be pretty. Yeah. Okay, they do. We have we can at least answer one of these constructs, and their life total is gonna take some wax here. Bauble it is. And they see Force of Will. That's a good one to know about. Ponder. That's not bad. Guess I'll name Dragon here. Okay. This is like a little awkward. This construct is going to be pretty big. I can answer one of them, but unfortunately, the Sheoldred's Edict is not going to get it because they have other tokens. I'm not going to do anything here. It gives them a chance to draw force, but I have force, and I want them to like act not knowing that there's a fatal push coming. So they have 2 5/5s. They're about to become 2 6/6s. If they get like Lava Spur Boots here, it's a very big crack. Okay, so no Lava Spur Boots. They had them. It has ward as well. I think this is actually worth a Force of Will for me. Because this means they'll be able to attack with one of the big uns no matter what. Okay, I will fatally push this construct token and take my 2 damage. And they're taking a peek at the top of my deck. Really would like a land here. Okay, that was good. Let's attack with Tamiyo. I could flip Tamiyo here, but I don't think that's where I want to be going. So I could ponder and then fetch, and then I still don't have enough to cast the thing. These are all okay cards, but not exactly what I need right now, so I'm gonna shuffle them. Draw a very bad card for me, but so it is, so be it. Maybe I was supposed to flip Tamiyo there, I don't know. Okay, here's a Mox Opal. A lot of mana floating. Oh, it's the warp guy. So they'll get 1 trigger off of this, and then I'll kill him with Sheoldred's Edict. I guess not even that. They're passing into combat. Okay. I'll just go with them here so that they don't expend their mana. And let's have each opponent sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. I'm about to take 6 and drop to 9, but I can make a 7/7 Murktide next turn. Get out of here with these Undercity Sewers. Okay, well, let's see if I can mill over another sorcery or instant. No, just another land. And I will hold open a mana here. I don't think it'll impact me negatively. The cost is a land out of my graveyard here. I'm gonna take Underground Sea just in case they have something like a surgical extraction or something. Not that I think any such things are gonna end up mattering here, but you never know. All right, attack with Tamiyo. If they can bounce this Murktide, like with Aether Spellbomb, or if they have Dismember or something, that could turn the tide here. Is this Kappa? Yeah, okay, Kappa Cannoneer. That's pretty good as well. Now it's a race. They didn't play any... Ooh, I'm almost able to bounce this. I think I will just attack with the Murktide here. I can flip Tamiyo if I want. Let's at least draw a card here. Lotus Petal. Do I want to just flip Tamiyo? Flipping Tamiyo takes... No, I don't think I can flip Tamiyo here. I think I need to keep her as a blocker, and then I can also, like, I have the mana to bounce this construct token. Okay. Can they make the Kappa big enough? Okay, looks like they can't. Petty Theft this friend here. But now we are in trouble. They are, like, they can chump block with these two. And then I'm dead next turn, so I do need to find an answer. Maybe I spewed this. They see Undercity Sewers. Yeah. For some reason, being the legacy combo boomer that I am, wasn't really thinking about combat, and these drone tokens are the real deal. Force of Will, huh? Guess I'll start with the Undercity Sewers. What is my best draw here? It's certainly not Dark Ritual. What is it, like Thoughtseize to remove an artifact from them? Let's draw a card. Barrowgoyf, respectable, but it's not going to matter if they just have any artifact among the 4 cards available to them. I think we attack here. Not with Tamiyo, yep. I can't imagine they wouldn't have an artifact. But I am going to play this Barrowgoyf. Like, the only way they don't have artifacts is if they have counterspells, I think, or all lands. Well, that's a land. And that's an artifact, so now Kappa is unblockable. That's how that works, right? Yeah, alright, and I'm dead. Dead as Dillinger. Okay, I think I'm gonna, like, try and stay true to this. I think we can outmuscle this deck. Yeah, so let's try that. That was a mulligan to 5 from the opponent, so that's pretty nice for them. Yeah, I'm just going to resubmit and see how we go. All right, final game of the final round. Let's go. Yeah, this hand is lovely. I will keep it. Opponent once again mulliganing. Wow, that deck really mulligans. So what are my answers to Kappa? It is basically, you know, beat the ward 4, obviously, but then it is the 2 Brazen Borrowers, and maybe that's it. And then, like, yeah, Shoulder's Edict does need to beat the ward, but yeah. All right, anyways, I guess it's Force of Will, huh? Tamiyo Let's go. Okay, Pinnacle Emissary, annoying. But ultimately, like we discussed, I think I need to save this Force of Will for more important things. Here we go, Mox Opal, Lotus Petal. I've not seen a draw 2 yet. What's it called? Thoughtcaster. Thought Monitor. So here comes Kappa, I think. Certainly looks like it. And I'm going to force pitching Brazen Borrower. But now, like, they only have one redraw here, which is good, but they have a lot of stuff here. Wasteland is nice. I think I need to save that for Urza's Saga. All right, let's attack here. Get the clue. No blocks. I will brainstorm. Get rid of Scalding Tarn and get rid of Murktide for now. Or is it Brazen or a Barrowgoyf? Yeah, like Barrowgoyf doesn't fly. Murktide is also like if I find a Force of Will here, then I have Force Blue card off of this Ponder. I am extremely like scared of another Murktide here. Not gonna lie. Okay, those are not good cards. Another Murktide, I mean another Kappa Cannoneer. Okay, we pass. There is a Saga. Good thing I have my trusty Wasteland, huh? No, another one? God damn it. Well, time to draw my one of Shoulder's Edict. And now, like, it would have been so much better with a Barrowgoyf, because at least that sort of races here. Oh, oh yes. Oh man, never not lucky. Or no, that doesn't make sense. Let's go ahead and make each opponent sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. Let's plus Tamiyo, and let's waste the Saga. Another Saga, right. And the Emissary, sure. So if the top 2 cards of their deck are good, then it's pretty bad for us. But if not, then I do get plus or ultimate Tamiyo next turn. Yeah, let's go ahead and make Murktide right now. And we'll plus Tamiyo. So now if they can bounce or remove my Murktide and connect with, then they could like take Tamiyo down two pegs here. They do have a very wide army here, so that is kind of a problem. But looks like they're passing. So let's surveil. Surveilling means I'm drawing one fewer cards. I'll take Force of Will. Though no, I'll take Force of Will. Like if they were to have something like a Hull Breacher or something nutty, I can at least draw with Clue and see if I get lucky. But let's -7 here. A Wasteland would not be the worst. Barrowgoyf is also pretty nice. Let's see. We did not draw a Wasteland, but we did draw some good stuff. We can Dark Ritual out Barrowgoyf here, and we could just play a second Barrowgoyf and have the game be about that. We could also like keep open Consign to Memory, Bowmasters. Could long goodbye the Emissary. Let's see here. Do I have anything to fetch with a fetch land? I think I should have like one Underground Sea. Alright, so I'll fetch the Underground Sea. There is also a world where I make a second Murktide here, which makes the first one really big. But I mean, they have an army of blockers though. But yeah, let's Fatal Push the Emissary. We can Stifle the construct, but I'm not too worried about the construct, honestly. And I mean stifled by, I mean consigned memory. Yeah, let's just pass here. So they make a friend. They can make more friends. The friend is a 10/10. I guess if they get Lava Spur Boots, that's pretty good. They do have Spell Bomb, so they can bounce a thing here. Guess they bounce the Barrowgoyf probably. Yeah, Barrowgoyf is bounced. So they attack here. I can make their guy a 6/6 with my Dismember. So I think I'm going to do that. And then I'm taking 5. I think I'm okay tapping out here because I have Forces and Daze. I guess if they have Flusterstorm here, that's a pretty big deal. We have Metallic Rebuke covered. So my clock is running really low because my computer is struggling a little bit here. So I'm taking a long time between passing our priority. They did have Flusterstorm. Wow, okay. Okay. Well, I can't pay, so I won't. And then I guess I probably have to block here. I could block one of the small guys, swing back, but then I'm at so low life. Another Barrowgoyf, which is good. So I'm going to make a Barrowgoyf, and that is going to trade with one of the constructs. I'm going to long goodbye the other one, and hopefully we'll have achieved stability. Okay, here come the attacks. All right, I will wish this one a long goodbye and block the other one. End of turn, I draw a Wasteland. That'll be good for future potential sagas. So I'm just going to load up 2 Barrowgoyfs here, and plus Tamiyo, and then pass. Yeah, my clock is like really running low here. So I don't really have the luxury of doing all sorts of nice things with unblocked Kaito and whatnot. Always yield to these. Always no. No. I weren't allowed to say always no. That's interesting. Okay, and I'm going to play Murktide and pass. No, actually, I am going to plus her, yeah. And then I'll pass. Memory Guardian gets a Force of Will. Okay, Force of Negation. All right, sweet. They conceded. Very kind of the opponent to not try and leverage the clock. All right, so honestly, this went somewhat over my expectations. I think there's something here. I'm definitely interested in sort of delving deeper into this. We played against Dimir Tempo twice, won once, lost once, and I think in in both games, all 3 matches, it was kind of close. We played against the blue-white, the Jeskai control deck, and that ended up not really being close, or not feeling close at all. And yeah, the 8-cast deck was kind of gnarly at the end, and I don't know, I did kind of hesitate at times and thought that maybe I shouldn't have boarded out of the Doomsday package. They did end up having like Flusterstorms and stuff like that. We got lucky to rip the Shoulder's Edict like right after they resolved their second Kappa Cannoneer. I'm blanking on the last matchup I had. Oh yeah, it was the first one, the combo. Yeah, we played against like a Saga Storm deck, and I think that this type of deck has to be really hard for Saga Storm to play against, I think. So we got a bit lucky on that matchup, and yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you think. I am curious about this. Is this worth like going on with? I think it might be. Um, I always, when I'm playing these decks, this type of version of Doomsday, I always am concerned, like I said in the deck tag, about like running into like non-blue fair decks because they can just outgrind you, and they have a big enough toolkit to also beat the Doomsday part. So, but you kind of want to be fast Doomsday there. Like, there's nothing worse than keeping a hand in this type of deck that has like Tamiyo as its main plan, and then the opponent going like Savannah Elvish Reclaimer. Then it's like shit. You know, there's a Caracas in my near future. There's probably like White of the Reliquary and stuff like that. And kind of similarly, if you resolve turn one Tamiyo and then the opponent goes like just vomits Eldrazi's out on the first couple of turns, like Eldrazi line breaker and then flesh rakers and stuff. Against those types of decks, I think you definitely want you would rather be a very fast Doomsday deck, or at least much faster than this. But then we've seen the flip side. Like I think this deck must be pretty dang hard to sideboard against, at least for the blue decks. You obviously cannot afford to not respect the creature side because the creatures in this deck are so good. Tamiyo's, Murktides, Barrowgoyfs, and Bowmasters. But then again, like you also have to respect the Dark Ritual Doomsday thing that the deck might do at any point. Anyways, it was fun. I'm really happy. I think I'm gonna run a couple more leagues at some point with this list and see how we go. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.